Good morning, students. Before this, in the previous video, we had explained about the four minerals: iron ore, manganese, bauxite, and copper, and its location plus its advantages and what it is used for. So again, and after that, we had another two mineral, that is coal and petroleum, which is a conventional source of energy. But now conventional source of energy gets exhausted, and because of that we need some alternative for having power, because with the increasing number of industries the requirement of power is more. Now we have come up with many other sources of power, of which we call it as non-conventional source. It is not a conventional, it is non-conventional as sources of power. Now among that, according to your latest syllabus, you have to study four: solar energy, wind energy, biogas, and nuclear. So from the book also I'll be explaining it, but according to this, what you are going to do is you make a table in the same way with a source, state, disadvantage, and all the advantages are written over here, because most of the solar non-conventional has this advantages, all the three advantages. So the meaning of the term is non-conventional. It is not. It is the latest type of energy that is generated. So starting with solar energy. Now the word solar energy is the sun's heat. It is omnipresent everywhere, but some states have high potential of generating solar energy, because if it is a desert region, if it is an area of less vegetation, if it is an area where there is less population, so in those places the energy that the sun is giving is more. So those states, among that Gujarat is the leading in solar energy, because it is a desert region also, less vegetation also, plus it has got the coastal location. That's why it is getting enough potential. And at the same time, the whole of the country is a tropical country, because Tropic of Cancer passes through it. That's why we have good source of heat from the sun. So most of the state can generate power. Now Gujarat is the leading. It started with Gujarat. Gujarat is the leading state for generating, but many states can do that, of which now they are we are seeing that in this Bangalore, people with their own houses, they have to have a solar energy on the rooftop. So that is in that way we are reducing the electricity, we are reducing the use of petroleum, we are reducing the use of coal. So that way we are consuming, or we are conserving the conventional source. Now, but the disadvantage of solar energy is that it is only during summer. During rainy season, the energy cannot be harnessed. It is during summer season we can get the maximum heat energy, and during the daytime it can be done. At night there is no energy, so we need batteries where we can collect the energy. So that is the disadvantage. The cost is quite high, and that's why that becomes a disadvantage. But more advantages we have for all the four is all are eco-friendly. You do not pollute any atmosphere. It does not create any smoke. It does not have any pollution. Then it is renewable. That means it can be regenerated. Every day sunlight is there, so we can regenerate the power, and it is non-polluting. So that is, these three advantages are for all the four sources. Now coming to wind energy. Wind energy is again like solar energy in those states which are coastal location, where the wind blows with a great speed from the Arabian Sea or Bay of Bengal. So again Gujarat is the leading state, followed by Karnataka, Maharashtra, and western coastal states. But then also the Gujarat is the leading state. They have number of wind mills that are standing there to generate power, and most of the agricultural work that is done, that electricity that is generated from the wind, is being used for agriculture purpose. Now the disadvantage is here, because wind speed is not constant. So if the speed of the wind is not constant, then the generation of power, it will not be constant. Sometimes if the speed is more power will be generated. If the speed is less power will be generated. So that is not a constant. But again, all these three advantages it has. Coming to biogas, the animal excretion plus agricultural waste, all these are used to generate by decomposing it. They generate power, and that is used in the villages. So that is the biogas that can be done all over India, because we are agricultural country. We have so much of waste from the agriculture. That's why we can have biogas. And the only place that it is not possible to have biogas is those places where it is quite cold. Cold regions cannot generate, because decomposition does not take place for these raw material, that is the agriculture waste or animal waste. So that is the disadvantage of biogas. Now nuclear power. Nuclear power is your uranium, thorium and barium. They are minerals, but we don't call it as conventional source, but because like for example 28 grams of these mineral can generate the power of coal, which coal can be 300 kgs of coal that generates power can be generated by 30 grams of mineral. So because we are consuming very less mineral, that's why they have kept it in non-conventional source of energy. The leading state is Jharkhand, followed by Chhattisgarh. Mostly it is your Chotanagpur Plateau region where we have nuclear power. Some amount of barium and thorium is in Kerala also, and Tamil Nadu, but the leading state is Jharkhand. Then disadvantages again can contaminate air, water and soil. If it is not used properly, if there is a leakage, then it is very hazardous. It leads to leakage of gas. It will contaminate air, it can contaminate water sources, it can contaminate this soil also, because all the wherever agriculture is taking place, it can contaminate that, and that is very hazardous for health. For example, we had the gas leakage in Bhopal. All these things are there which can be very hazardous. Now, so nuclear power, but all the four have the same advantage, that is all are eco-friendly. Eco-friendly means it can be it cannot create any pollution for the human being. There is no harm in using all these. Then it is renewable. It can be regenerated every time. Like hydroelectric power is also regenerated, but that is not there in your syllabus. Non-polluting, no pollution is created, no smoke, no ash, no fumes, nothing is there. So it is eco-friendly. Now for the examination that you are learning, you should learn all these three advantages for all the four sources of power. You should know at least two states where it is produced, and this one or two disadvantages of all the four sources. Now with this we come to the end of chapter 6. In your virtual classes, we'll discuss the reasoning question that comes from this chapter. So before this we have done conventional source, we have done minerals, now we have done non-conventional source of energy. Thank you, students.